Structured workflows are vital for avoiding mistakes when executing orders. By carefully monitoring and controlling each step, both individuals and management maintain a clear view of the entire process. Management oversees operations from a high level, while each operator follows organized scenarios to complete tasks accurately. In this tutorial, we'll simulate a workflow designed to digitize analog materials, such as films, videos, audio tapes, or old photographs. Our goal is to help your business accept both online and offline orders, while tracking every step. The workflow features two receiving points, one in the shop and another on your company website. A shop assistant collects materials and creates a new order. Online, the customer places an order on your website and sends their materials by post. When orders arrive at the scanning device, the responsible operator checks them in and starts production. If there's an issue, you can place the order on hold and email the client about the problem. Once scanning is complete, all files are collected in the orders folder and uploaded to the cloud. Simultaneously, an email is sent to confirm order completion, provide a download link, and invite the customer to collect their materials. For online orders, the notification is sent and the materials are shipped back to the client. We'll also build in a quality control step, where scan results are reviewed before the order is approved or materials are sent for reproduction. From the description and flowchart, we've pinpointed 3 moments where decisions or actions are required in the workflow. When starting a new order. During pre-production check. When uploading to the cloud and giving materials back to a client. Additionally, 2 extra steps handle cases where orders run into quality problems or uncertainties during production. At every such decisive point, a scenario is launched to update the order status and trigger actions that let us track each step and keep clients informed when needed. Bear in mind, your actual workflow might differ. The benefit of the Hefest system is its flexibility. You can always tailor it to reflect real-life needs. We should also identify essential information to capture about each order and client throughout the workflow. At a minimum, the order should have a unique number. It's also vital to collect the client's email, name, address, and details about what they're ordering. These order attributes and product details travel with the order from start to finish, forming a reliable record at every stage. Before we dive into building out the workflow, we need to set up our services and the specific products we'll offer to clients. This foundational step ensures that each subsequent order follows a structured process, no matter what kind of media a client brings in. Let's begin by adding 2 product services. For this example, we'll use film scanning and VHS tape digitization. The setup method we use here applies equally to any other media you may want to add later. With these product services defined, we'll be ready to accept orders for a range of analog materials, ensuring consistency and clarity as you move through the workflow. The procedure for creating a product is as follows. Establish a service of the store type. Select the Create the First Product link. Click on Simple Product. Assign a name to the product. Should additional clarity be required, provide a description. Upload images to constitute the product gallery, specify the price, and, if necessary, enter a SKU. Save the product configuration. Repeat these steps for another product by clicking the button in the upper right corner of the interface. First, let's begin by setting up a new workflow, which we'll name Analog to Digital. Define each stage of your process and assign a specific status to every step. When a new order enters the system, we give it the status initiated. There are 3 types of statuses you can use. Active. Use this when an action is required on the order. Passive. Select this when you're waiting for someone else to take action. Closed. Assign this once the order is completed. At the start, we often have limited information about the order. So, we use the passive initiated status until it reaches the check-in point. Once the order arrives at pre-production check-in, we review its contents. If everything is in order, we move the status to ready for production, now marking it as active. If there are problems or uncertainties, the order is placed on hold with a passive status. The next stage is production. When production finishes, update the status to prepared for upload. You can add extra steps to tailor the workflow to your specific needs. For quality assurance, include a quality control check. If an order's digitization doesn't meet your standards, set its status to redo, so corrections can be made. The final stage is done. This status is assigned once all files are uploaded and materials are on their way back to the client. Let's define the key attributes needed to collect essential information about each client and their order. For our workflow, we'll include order number, client's name, address, email address. Capturing the client's email is particularly important, as email will be our primary channel for communicating order updates and notifications. You can always add more attributes or customize the information you collect to match your business needs. These details form the backbone of your workflow, ensuring each order is traceable and that you're able to keep clients informed every step of the way. We need to integrate extensions that will streamline our workflow by handling online orders, file access, and communication with clients. In the Extensions section, we connect the following. Easy Solo Shop, for accepting online orders and managing customer submissions. File Transfer Access, to provide clients with access to their completed digital files. Mail, to send order progress notifications and updates directly to the client's email. You can include only one Easy Shop and one File Transfer Access extension per workflow. However, you can add as many mail extensions as you need, allowing you to send notifications at different stages or for various situations throughout the process. Let's walk through setting up the Solo Shop, step by step. The Solo Shop accepts online orders for general products, including those that require clients to supply materials from a person placing the order. It ensures materials are received before production starts and helps us track every stage, from receiving materials through production and all the way through to delivery. Configuration is divided into 5 primary sections, enabling you to customize the application according to your workflow requirements. Let's go through each one together. We'll begin by choosing the Hefest Store service where we keep our products. If you want to let customers order multiple quantities of an item, check the Enter Quantity box. Leave it unchecked if ordering multiples isn't necessary. Next, choose the status that triggers the system to send your client a verification link. Set the attribute that contains your client's email address. When a client selects a product, Hefest gently prompts them to enter their email address. Shortly after, an access link arrives in their inbox. With a simple click, the client is taken to a page where they can fill in their order details. Once payment is complete, the system immediately activates their order, ensuring a seamless experience from start to finish. In the Order Reference section, we decide how to create order numbers. We need to link the order number to a workflow process via the attribute for consistent management. Choose whether order numbers should be generated automatically with a counter, or let clients create their own. Add a prefix if you want the order number to be specific for such orders. In the Details section, we specify the information you require from clients. In certain countries, Hefest can verify addresses, minimizing the risk of incorrect entries. Alternatively, use custom attributes and a plain text field for address information. Additional fields may be used to collect further data, such as the client's name, phone number, or any other information you may need. At the checkout section stage, we connect our payment processor. This will require prior setup within the finance section under payment. Finally, in the order confirmed section, select the status that makes a new order active in your workflow. We assign follow-up effects, such as sending a confirmation email to the client. Let's set up our first copy of the mail extension to add an automatic notification for the clients about registering their orders in the system. Name the extension to distinguish it from other mail extensions you might use in your workflow. Use the address field to retrieve the value from the attribute configured to receive an email address or enter a list of fixed addresses separated by commas. When using values from the system, such as order number, client's name, or any other data you collect or assign to the order in your workflow, ensure you follow the syntax. For the subject field, use the tilde symbol to insert your desired values. These will appear in the same order as shown in the values section of the extension. For the body, use a standard HTML approach with IDs of the elements. The body section allows you to create any layout with your preferred look and feel. If an element is not found, you can stop sending mail or delete the corresponding node and send the message anyway. Let's review now how to set up the File Transfer Access extension for client downloads and notifications. The customer email field retrieves the client's email address from the workflow attribute, allowing you to automatically send a notification when the order is complete and ready for download. The Display Options section helps configure what a visitor sees in the web interface. Decide which order details to show, such as order status, order number, and client name, by mapping your workflow's attributes to the web interface fields. This ensures all relevant information is clearly visible to your client. For the desired layout, choose how each piece of information will appear on the download page and assign the HTML element type accordingly. With these steps, clients will be able to access their files securely online, check the status of their order, and receive a timely notification once their order is ready for download. It's time to create landing pages for our pre-configured extensions. The URLs for these landing pages are where your clients will go to place and collect their orders. We'll need to add 2 pages, one for starting an order, and another for receiving the results. Head to the Apps section in the Hefest Management panel. Click the Add Application button and choose Page Builder as the application type. Name the first page My Solo Shop. Then add a second one called My File Transfer Access. Open the My Solo Shop page and add a new component. From the drop-down menu, select the workflow extension. Choose your desired workflow, extension, and method. Then, specify the ID you'd like to use in your HTML. Copy the generated div and place it in the body tag within the layout section of the application. When you open your new page in a new tab, you'll be able to preview it and see the front page of your shop with its products. Repeat the same steps for the My File Transfer Access page, selecting the File Transfer Access application this time. Feel free to arrange and style your pages however you like, adding extra elements to enhance the look and feel. If you need more detailed guidance on the page builder, visit the relevant help section. Now that all necessary parts appear to be in place, we can start adding scenarios to connect all steps into a single seamless workflow. We know that we need 5 scenarios to complete the task. Let's begin with the Start New Order scenario, which we run when we receive a new order in the shop. Go to the Apps section, click on the Add Application button, and select the Workflow Scenario option. Name your scenario, Start a New Order. Open the newly added scenario. Select your workflow and then click on the plus sign to add the first step. As you can see, there are many options, and you can find details about each in the corresponding Hefest Help section called Workflow. At this point, we will only use those relevant to our purpose. Our task is to initiate a new order. The first step is to add identification for the order, an order number. You can employ different strategies here. For example, if you work with an envelope that has a barcode, you can scan the encoded number into the order number field. Otherwise, you can enter the order number manually or generate it. We will focus on manual input or scanning. This field is definitely required. For the next step, add a component that creates an order and links the order number attribute to the order reference ID. Every order in the system has several properties that you can link to the attributes you create for your workflow. In most cases, linking the order number attribute to the order reference ID is sufficient, but you can use others if needed. I've already explained the order reference prefix in the solo shop settings. Here, you can add a starting cost for the order if you want to use one. It will be included in the final amount to be paid to the client. We skip it here. With the next component, we will allow adding products. In the Input section, choose Enter Product. From the Services section, select the service from which you offer products. By default, you can order only one piece of a product. You can keep checkboxes unchecked and leave the restriction or allow options by activating the corresponding checkbox. To allow multiple products in a single order, enable multiple values, and use the quantity field to specify the quantity of each product. The autocomplete function can help if your product list is long. The required box ensures a product must be added. Now, let's gather more information about our client and add 2 fields for the email and name attributes. We need these to communicate with the client and send them updates about their order. The information has been collected, and now we will ask Hefest to create a process in the system for the new order. Be aware that an order and a process are 2 different entities, and technically, one process can contain several orders, although we do not do this here. Think of a process as a box with the order inside, moving through the workflow. Add a new step and select Create Process from the Tracking, Single Process section. When we create a process, we have to assign a particular status. Let's select the Received in the Shop. With the final step, we reset the scenario to its initial stage so we can run it again. Use the Go to the First Step component. We are about to create scenarios to pass a received order to production. At this stage, we should verify that everything is in order with the analog materials and then pass the order to the production department. You might want to check that the materials received are in good condition and not damaged. You may also need to decide which production line to use for the order. Clearly, digitizing films differs from digitizing tapes, requiring specific processes for each of them. You might also want to leave comments when necessary. There could be additional information you wish to pass through the workflow alongside the order. To facilitate this, we need to add more attributes to keep this extra information. Let's enhance our workflow control by adding new attributes. We'll focus on the comment, films, and tapes digitising types. For the digitising type, we'll use a string selection attribute so you can easily choose between these two options. Stick with string and text data types for now, though you can explore other data types as needed. Once these attributes are set up, you're ready to incorporate them into our workflow scenarios. We'll start by creating the pre-production check-in scenario. Open this scenario. Select the desired workflow, and add the order number attribute. This helps us identify the exact order we're working with. Next, add the load process by attribute component to configure the system to load the matching process for this order number. Now add the two new attribute components, one for comments and another to select the production type. We need to add a specific step to ensure our process integrates properly with the file transfer access. This component links the order to the file transfer access extension, ensuring a correct connection between the order and its related files. Use the update process component to apply these changes, update the order status, and ensure all information is recorded to advance the process. Don't forget to return the workflow to its starting point with the go to the first step component. This keeps the scenario ready for the next order. Apply a similar approach for the put on hold scenario, which you'll use when there is an issue with an order that requires resolution. Create this new scenario and name it accordingly. Here, production type isn't required, but it's important to add a comment to explain the issue with the order. Make sure to assign the appropriate status so the order can be set aside until the problem is resolved. We use two scenarios for quality control, one for approving the order for upload, and another for returning the order for reproduction. To enhance quality analysis, consider collecting data on the causes of poor quality during production. Use both comments and dedicated attributes to gather this information. Attributes enable more effective analysis of your production processes. Hefest enables you to generate reports organized by specific attributes. In the workflow settings, we add a select string attribute with 3 values, sampling rate, distortion, and nonlinearity, as an example. Next, we navigate to the Apps section of the Management panel and add two new scenarios: Quality Control Good and Quality Control Bad. For the bad quality case, we start by entering the order number. Load the order tied to this number, then add reason and comment attributes, and include a component to update the order status. Remember to add the go to the first step component to loop the workflow. For the quality control good scenario, you can skip the reason attribute and likely the comment as well, if everything is fine. The order is ready for upload to the cloud, making it accessible to your customer. Arranging a physical workspace is key to working efficiently and staying focused. For many, that means organizing the physical elements of your space, like your desk, equipment, and how everything is set up for ease of use. But it also means thinking about your digital workspace, especially when working with multiple scenarios and applications. As demands grow and you add more scenarios, you might notice the number of applications in your apps area growing. It can quickly become overwhelming. You can keep everything in the browser, use bookmarks for quick access to scenarios, and add the simple authorization component to protect them from unauthorized access. Don't forget to allow web access to the scenario. By default, such access is not available. It's a good practice to replace the random ID with a more meaningful URL. This method works, but it can quickly get cluttered, and it isn't always the most secure or convenient. There's a better solution designed for efficiency: the Hefest Terminal. Instead of managing every scenario through your web browser, you can group only the scenarios you need at a given time, say, at a particular action point like a quality checkpoint, and access them from a single desktop application. The Hefest Terminal streamlines the workflow further. You can find the download link for the terminal in the Terminal section of any scenario, with versions available for both Windows and Mac. Once you've installed the terminal, you'll need an API secret key to securely connect each scenario, which you download from the same section. This also ensures that only authorized users can access sensitive workflows. When you run the Hefest terminal for the first time, it will ask you for this secret key. Once connected, the scenario you need loads directly into the application. You're free to add more scenarios as required, each protected by its own API key. To add another scenario, download the secret key from the desired scenario. Click the Hefest Terminal Plus button, load your key, and connect the relevant scenario. With this approach, you eliminate the clutter of too many apps and browser tabs, and you run your quality control process directly from your desktop, securely and locally. You'll send information straight to your database without interfering with the rest of your team, leading to a more organized, efficient, and secure workspace. Our final scenario ensures the delivery of files to the client. We will upload the files to a cloud service and notify the client that their files are ready for download. We will start by adding another copy of the mail extension to send notifications when files are prepared. Let's name it Files Ready Notify. This will alert our client and send them a link to access their files. Since we have already covered how to set up the mail extension, we will skip that part here. However, be sure to include the URL for the My Files Transfer Access page. This is where your client will go to download their files. Let's now focus on the scenario for uploading orders that are ready to be uploaded. We should start as usual by selecting the desired workflow. The first step involves the upload process. Insert the uploads component into the scenario. Start by choosing the upload type. Then, specify an attribute for the folder name where each order's files will be stored. It's important to name your local folders with orders the same as the selected attribute. This way allows us to link an order to its files. We also use this attribute to load the corresponding order from the workflow with the load process by attribute component, which we employ for the next step in our scenario. We then add the update process component and set the new status to uploaded to confirm that the files are now available. We then proceed to notify the client about the availability of their files. We connect the pre-configured files delivery mail extension to ensure that files are ready for download. Finally, add the Go to the first step component to reset the scenario. This ensures the workflow is prepared to process the next order in line, maintaining continuous operation until all applicable orders have been updated. This scenario will loop indefinitely until all orders with the status prepared to upload change their status to uploaded. With these steps, your scenario will smoothly manage file delivery and client notification, ensuring a seamless workflow. I have mentioned earlier that some scenarios don't work in browsers. Scenarios that include components for labels or PDF document printing, reports, and multiple actions, for example. In general, if a scenario needs communication with the local file system, you can only run it in the Hefest terminal. The upload is one of those cases. To set up the upload scenario in the Hefest terminal, first download its secret key and connect the scenario. Then, establish two paths to your local environment, one to the folder with orders, and the other to the assistant folder, which we need to properly archive orders before uploading. Let's run the upload scenario and check our orders in the operations section of the workflow. As you can see, the status is changed to uploaded. In real life, I would add a scenario to control the process of sending originals back to the client, but I believe you should be able to do it yourself now. This was our final scenario. As you've seen, we focused on handling a single order, not because that's the only way Hefest works, but to showcase how the system can describe virtually any workflow process. This is Hefest's core strength. From this foundation, you can build scenarios to process multiple orders at once, print labels, or generate reports. Hefest offers an array of features designed to simplify and streamline your work, making life just a little bit easier and more convenient. Give it a try.